Hello, welcome back to the channel. I'm James and this is Nerd Topic. So today's topic of interest is discussing the implications of the Venom Let There Be Carnage mid-credit scene. Now, of course, if you've seen this video or seen my spoiler review of the film, the mid-credit scene is obviously revealed that Venom and Eddie Brock are now in the MCU as they see Peter Parker on the TV from the Daily Bugle, obviously from the end of Far From Home, and the beginning and part of the No Way Home movie. So what does this mean? Of course, it obviously means Venom and Spider-Man Peter Parker will meet each other at some point. Whether, I don't think it will happen in No Way Home, however, I reckon it could be teased in the No Way Home mid-credit or post-credit scene, but I think it's more likely that they will be together in Venom 3, as No Way Home is the end of the Spider-Man trilogy and the end of Tom Holland's contract for the MCU, whether they renew it or not. But after that, Spider-Man, Peter Parker, Tom Holland's version has to go back to the Sony films, so I feel like it makes sense more to be in Venom 3. So the main thing I wanted to discuss was, I wanted to talk about this because it's going to be quite different. Now, because I'm most curious to see how they're actually going to get them to fight each other if they do, because their origins have already changed quite a bit from the comics now. One of the main reasons that Venom / Eddie Brock wants to take out Spider-Man, Peter Parker in the comics is because from the human side of it, Eddie Brock and Peter Parker both work at the Daily Bugle, and sort of Eddie Brock hates Peter Parker because Peter Parker always shows him up, he always gets the better images, he always does better, and Eddie Brock hates him for that. And obviously Venom in the comics latches on to Spider-Man and he dons the symbiote suit for a while until attaching to Eddie Brock. And basically the way that Eddie Brock finds out that Peter Parker is Spider-Man is that the symbiotes have sort of a psychic power where they can recall information from their hosts, even if it's something they didn't say, and they can keep that memory even if it's a previous host. And obviously again, since Venom latched onto Peter Parker and Peter Parker was the host to the Venom symbiote, therefore the symbiote knew that he was Peter Parker and it tells this information to Eddie Brock. Now with this information, it's clear that, well, Eddie Brock hates both Peter Parker and Spider-Man, and Venom hates Spider-Man just in general for sort of betraying him, I guess, for leaving him, and just because of his mixed emotions with Eddie Brock, since they have both come together and achieved symbiosis. Whereas in the movies, Eddie Brock doesn't work for the Bugle, especially not in the first one. He sort of has his own news thing. Yeah, we do see the Daily Bugle paper in the second installment, Let There Be Carnage, implying that Eddie is working for the Bugle, which is a paper print version instead of compared to the MCU. It's an InfoWars style show. And obviously in this universe, Peter Parker, we haven't seen him in the Venom universe, so we don't know if he exists. If he's Spider-Man, we assume not, because he would be there otherwise. And so, therefore, Eddie doesn't have that rivalry with Peter Parker, and therefore, him coming across Spider-Man, they're not going to be enemies. I feel like it just doesn't make sense, or, they've got to find another way to explain it. So I'm very curious to see how they do this, especially because they don't know each other. They've never met. It's just not the same as the comics. So this makes me think more like they might fight at first because I guess obviously Eddie and Venom have seen the news. Oh, he's this murderer. They might think he's a bad person. Attack him at first, but then they will realize he's good, and I reckon they will team up together because in the comics, Venom and Spider-Man aren't always enemies. They have teamed up together before, especially to fight Carnage. Now, obviously, Carnage is dead, if you've seen Venom Let There Be Carnage, but they are setting up Toxin, so he could be the villain of that movie as Spider-Man and Venom team up. And again, as I touched on, I think it just also this implies that, like, Spider-Man, depending on whether they can get a new contract, he will be leaving the MCU, I feel, and joining the Sony universe with Venom and Morbius and any other characters they are making. Actually, now that I think about it, they are doing the Craven movie with Aaron Taylor-Johnson, so yeah, I think that is the main implications for it. Obviously, they're going to meet, but that's why I just wanted to talk about how it differed from the comics to inform you, my lovely viewers, if you didn't know the comic origins and sort of why they hate each other in the comics and why they fight, and how it does differ from the films to why it might not just be so straightforward as, oh, they will fight each other, but I feel like they've got to make a new reason now, or they've got to figure something out. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Again, it's another short one. I'm trying to keep them down because I had that bad streak of uploading really long videos all in a long period. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments below. What do you think they will do with Venom's character? How will he interact with Spider-Man? I'm curious to know everyone's thoughts. I've been James, this has been The Topic, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Peace out, people.